What is going on, guys? My name is Ty, and always I have Kyle here with me, and we are the Weekend Warriors Disc Golf Podcast. We are here again for another great week with some great topics going to be hidden. We're going to be talking about some Nate Doth's action. Don't want to spoil that there, but apparently he is stepping down. Well, it's not really stepping down, but he's taking a little side break on commentating and finally joining the field again. We're going to be also talking about OTB Open, Kristen Tatar with her great achievement that has happened today, and also talking about some preparation for my tournament this coming up weekend, and also Kyle's update on creating content and what has he been working on and some new things that he's been trying out. And we definitely want to hear from him. But before we get down and telling you all these amazing stuff, we do have an amazing sponsor as always, which is Gravity Disc Golf. And I gotta say, Gravity Disc Golf exists to exceed your out of this world expectation with unparalleled custom designs, disc, and apparel. Gravity is creating an atmosphere where disc golfers can enjoy every aspect of disc golf while blasting off with space themed design. No matter what you throw, Gravity has designs on almost every manufacturer and can make your game look great. They offer free shipping on orders over $75, and John includes a nice note to each customer. Make sure to check them out at gravitydiscgolf.com to complete your bag. And let me tell you, it is out of this world. Definitely use code KG10 or TIE wow, let me try that again. Or TIE DG10 to get 10% off your next order. I try to slur all of that together. Definitely just punch that in, just type that in. Gets 10% off on your order and get some good goodies. So because literally anything. You get those awesome burgers that I got. You could get, anything you could want. They have everything.
Mhm.
So definitely go check them out. Great stuff. For me, I don't know about Kyle, but for me, when I order, I always get my stuff 2 days after I order. Even if it says the expected date, for some reason I get it in 2 days. So I don't know if it's because I live only like 6-ish, 7 hours away from
Could
them,
be.
but I definitely only get it in 2 days. So which is a huge benefit, and that definitely helps me out to order as much as I want from them. So, but let's get right into it, Kyle. So I don't know if you knew this, and if you did, definitely I want to hear about it as well. But randomly, I was just listening to another podcast, and Nate Doss has decided to contact the tournament director for 2024 Beaver State Fling and was asking if there is a spot available for him to play. And the TD was like, yes, there is. And he's like, yeah, put me down. So I don't know if it's just if this is a one event situation, but is Nate Doss coming out of retirement? Because the last time he's
I
played was 2018.
yeah, it's awesome. It's always exciting to see somebody like Nate Doss come back to the field just to give it a go. Worlds, you see that quite a bit, but they're getting
Yeah.
even more strict at Worlds though on who can play and can't
Hmm.
play, which is kind of
Yeah.
crappy because sometimes when these the OGs of disc golf want to come and compete at something like Worlds, that's an event you want to see that happen.
That's what happened
You
last
want
year.
to see the Nate Dosses, you want to see Climo,
Hmm.
you want to see them all come back to at least just to, even though they may not place well, just to come compete would be awesome. Yeah, seeing Nate Doss come out, maybe he just had the itch for a while. Comet sitting, behind the commentators' desk, sitting there and talking it. Maybe he's just like, you know what? Let's see if I can still compete at all. Let's see if I can still make this a thing. Because what if he comes out there and plays well, cashes and everything else? He still has enough to do that. Maybe he So like, okay, maybe I can compete a little bit more and not just do commentary, which even that, you know, commentating is a whole different topic, of course, because I feel like they've gotten a pretty solid lineup there. Because I mean, even if Big Germ, um, you know, eventually steps away from disc golf, at that competing side of it, I want him to see him on the commentator's desk. Him, Nate Perkins, Brian,
Zach Melton.
and even Zach, even adding Zach Melton in there, like that's such a good booth. And Ian as the other guy just kind of sitting there a little bit, but like
I like Brian
the
Earhart.
group of those, Earhart's fantastic. Like Ian, he's all right. He does what his job does is
Yeah.
there, but allow these guys to like do their thing though, like
Mm,
your Nate Sexton, your Brian Earhart's and stuff like that. Big Germ and them, like when they commentate, it's solid. It's
yeah.
really good. But maybe do it, and maybe because they're adding so much to the commentators now, that Nate just has a little bit more freedom to be like, oh, I don't have to commentate every single weekend. Let's see if I can still make some money by actually playing. So it'll be interesting to see how he does there. I do
Yeah.
though.
I mean, like, it might be one of those things which it might kind of like my theory. It's not, it probably isn't, but after being a commentator for so long, I feel like maybe he's been watching it where it's like, are these, is this field really getting difficult? And kind of want to see, like, firsthand, like, in the trenches, like, is it actually different when I was playing it, back then? And I mean, like, it's been a couple of years, at least a good few years actually. So it's like, I mean, it's not like crazy long, but it's definitely, a good amount of time. But yeah, like his last event he played in 2018, because I have him here, he came in second place. So, because it looked like he DNF'd his first one in 2018. His actual first one was he came in seventh, then 20th, then 13th, then 18th, and then second. But his last Beaver State fling, he came in 18th place. That was back in 2018. So, but yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I thought that was really cool. 2017 he came in sixth place for Beaver State fling. Let me see what he did in 2016. 2016 he did, like, they didn't have it in 2016. But yeah, just pretty much, definitely 2016 he won a few actually, which is nice. But yeah, it's just kind of, interesting to just see him finally being back. And it shows that he's been a member since 94, but he has 1993 in his, oh, because that's AMs, that makes sense. Um so yeah, but his first actual year that he toured, oh, that's still AMs.
It's hard to say because like Pro Tour didn't really exist till.
Well, it kind of says MA1 though, and it still says juniors division. Yeah, so like right here it says like juniors 3, juniors 2, intermediate, advance. He, he did two NPOs back in 98, but he's still technically a kid. Yeah, he started to do NPO around 98, 99.
Mhm.
And then 2000, yeah, 2000 he did all pros. So pretty much around 98, 99 up to 2000 he started to do mainly NPO, which is kind of, that's crazy, because I was only 5 years old and he's rocking rocking that stuff and doing his thing. But yeah, no, I just thought that was really cool just seeing that to see his name again and for him to, be a part of it. So and I hopefully they allow him to go on the feature card. I just want to see his game because like I said, I've never seen his game at all. I mean, obviously I could probably look it up and like watch it, but
Right,
um
right.
I would absolutely love to just like experience that because like we always talk about his stuff and like obviously he has 42 wins. He's made $275,793. And pull that randomly. I'm just reading it right here. But like it's just cool though to see like, he's done a lot in his core in his time and it's just very excited to just, kind of see it. Like, for example, like even the skins match with, Ken Climo, like watching that was so fun to watch. And so it's just cool to just watch these. Um, I know he's not as old, but it's definitely cool seeing an older player though, actually coming back and, playing.
No, it's always good seeing. Like I said, the OGs come back just to compete in anything.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, no. But speaking of that, because like you said, Doss hasn't really played since 2018, rated 1038. Um, Tatar, of course. Like we said, we talk about that later on. Uh, but everybody gets a ratings bump or
Yep.
decrease or whatever else. Um, I did move up 4 because some of my lower ones fell off.
Hmm.
Every time it goes up, I'm like, I did go up. I played lower than, but yet it still goes up 4 points. Let's go. um, but my rating did go up.
Hmm.
I bumped up to 878, closer and closer, slowly but surely. Um, which is a good bump. 4 points. I would say that's pretty dang good bump for ratings. I know there's some that go up super high, but take a 4 bump increase. Honestly, I thought I wasn't really going to get anything. I thought my rating would kind of sit there and be about the same, or maybe lose a point or two. But nope, put it up, and I'm bumped up 4.
Yeah. Sadly mine went down. Which I'm trying to figure out why because um the only the only tournament that I played was Walnut Open. First round I shot at 846, but then in my second round I shot a 773, which I know that's a big gap, but you would think that would even out, but it didn't. So I actually dropped 8 points.
Yeah, that's a big drop. I'm curious on why you dropped what you did drop though.
Like
Um,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'm technically sitting at a 792, which weirdly enough, that's my lowest rating.
which honestly, like coming out of I think if you end up having a good outing weekend, it can boost up majorly too. I'm curious on what your whole event rating was in general.
It doesn't
Um,
say. Um
no,
it just it
that's what you got to look at is like your actual event rating
well yeah,
because your lowest.
because it shows the only thing that it shows me because if you go in it says show round ratings. It says my first round was 846 and then my second round was 773. but it doesn't give me like the total.
Right.
So, well, wait, what? I thought they said the total was 811, but I could have been wrong. But wouldn't I then be bumped up to 811?
Well, it depends on your rest of your entire like PGA ratings. It depends on that in general.
Because I went into Walnut Open with an 800.
Right.
So I'm not, I don't know. Like, it's weirdly not adding up, which by the way, I just found out that both you and I have done this same exact numbers of events,
Hmm.
PDGA sanctions. We've done, both of us have done 10. So I did figure that out. But yeah, I just thought though,
Uh,
I thought that was weird. Like, I mean, like, I'm not complaining too much because like I really feel confident for this coming up weekend. Also there's a chance of rain. There's like a 70% chance for rain.
that's not surprising. Um,
So I'm excited for it.
right. Uh,
But it's just
okay.
interesting to me of
Well,
why so much.
if you hmm. So your ratings goes back, that's included from August of 2022. So there's 8 ratings that's included in this.
Oh, there's 8 ratings that's included in this.
Mm.
So if you're just looking at 2022, then it's 798, then it goes 816, 814, 804, and then 800, which I feel like, why am I playing worse? I just realized that.
I mean, it just happened. You might just be having a streak, you know what I mean? Um, so a lot of like, so you have you have 3 rounds that are over 800 rated,
Mhm.
and 5 rounds that are under 800. So that's probably where it averaged out to that 790, whatever. So if you go out there and kill it this weekend and shoot at least 800 or higher to your next rating, you're going to see a major increase again.
Yeah,
Because your 2 lowest ones will drop off of these ones that are currently rated, which is a big number to fall off.
that makes sense.
Yeah, your 2 lowest rounds would be from the 1 round at your 2024 Bay kickoff and your an event that happened the second annual Freeport, Florida Disc Golf Classic. This second round of that would fall off probably. Ratings details, if you go to that tab, that tells you a lot.
Oh yeah, the Creve
Mm-hmm.
Core Open back in August. That was not a good. Yeah, I did. So it's so weird how I do this, because like first round 854, second round 758. Then the next tournament, first round 821, second round 758. And then the next round is just cold. I just couldn't play. But then like Walnut 846, then 773. So it's like my first round's always better than my second round. And it's like a huge difference.
Yeah, see what helps me. Okay, so here's why mine went up for points. Because my second round in the one open was a 836. It didn't include that.
What's my highest? What is my highest rated round?
My highest rated round is actually 900.
It is 878, and that was back in 2001. I'm sorry, 2021 at Sauk Valley Open,
So
July.
here's my ratings to give you an example of why mine is at sitting at
Oh, well,
878
that's
now.
why. That was a B tier. That's why.
Mm-hmm. So I have a round rating for 900, 890, 861, 882, 69, 862, 878. And then they didn't include my second round of 836, so they dropped
Mm.
that. Didn't include it.
Yeah, so all of these 700s are really effing up my total. That's what's happening.
Like I said, this weekend, if you go out there, shoot over 800 both, they will drop off one of those low scoring 800, 700 ones, and I bet you anything you bump up.
Yeah.
They might even drop two of them. So, because I always forget that round ratings is actually what they look at. It's not like event rating itself. If you go to
Mm,
rating details for anybody looking and you're wondering, they actually look at evaluate every single round you play.
yeah. Man,
Because technically that's a full score.
it's crazy. Pretty much my next updated ranking, uh it's going to probably eliminate my final Missouri tournament I've ever
Mhm.
done. That's crazy. And then after that, it's just Florida and Illinois. Jeez, it's crazy. But yeah, no, the next or this Saturday should be great. Which don't get fooled with the day one. It was going to be a 2 day tournament, but they decided to just make it a 1 day with 2 rounds. But it was originally going to
Mhm.
be a day one, day two. Um, which I'm glad it wasn't because that would have been awful. I don't know. I don't want to do that right now.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I'm excited. Obviously, we'll get more into it. Uh, the ending of the pod of talking about my plans, but yeah, I'm excited for it though. It's the like I said, it's the open disc golf field. Sorry, old golf course field. Um, word on the street is they say it's always windy, which I'm just used to that, especially with Creep
Mhm.
Core, playing back in Missouri. Walnuts always windy, so I'm used to playing in the wind, so that's not going to change much. So um, I'm excited just to go back because actually having my bag back, I feel like I'm gonna be playing way better. So
Mhm.
and yeah, playing smart golf, and that's pretty much it with that. But yeah, well, I'm excited, dude. Like, that's awesome that you moved up for your ratings. Um,
Yeah, it is.
I am just playing a roller coaster ride right now, bouncing back and forth, just just
It'll
doing
smooth itself out.
doing one of those. But it's all good though. Yeah, but right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into Rodney's corner, talk about some amazing stuff, and then we'll be right back. What is going on, guys? We are here in the Roddy's corner, as always. We're gonna do a quick update and also hit you guys for the preview for this coming up week.
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick reminder. So myself is 32 points, Tyler is 23 points, and Kyle is tied with me for 32 points. So that's where we are going into the OTB Open. This is presented by MVP Disc. It is from May 17th through May 19th in Stockton, California. Um, I will let Kyle go first on his picks.
All right. Going a little different this week. Obviously, we're still missing Kirsten and Lena and Hannah and them all. They'll be back following weekend. But for this, I have Owen Scoggins taking this one down. I think she needs a good tournament. Uh, show up at. Although I do know this is a open field course, so even though she doesn't have a lot of distance, she still could compete in the field that it is. So I got her winning. I don't know why. My gut tells me Paige Pierce might finally have a good showing. Weaker field right now. Um, I know she's been blowing up on holes, but she's loving being back and everything else. And I don't know. I just feels like she's eventually gonna pop off one of these events. And with the field the way it is,
Why
That's a good
wouldn't
take.
she
maybe this
try
is
now?
it. Yeah, yeah. Maybe
That's
this
a
is
good
the week
take.
that she does.
I agree with that.
And after winning a tier, I believe it was. I think Lucky will have a good showing out there. So we will get one European in the top three. So I'm picking Lucky to finish at the third spot, winning her first. I don't know if it's her first event that she's won, but I know she just won last weekend. So uh, take that momentum, bring it in here. I think she can get a top three.
And it's like you said, it's like there are some like known names in this course, but not a lot of the big heavy hitters because a lot of them are cross seas already. So it would be cool to see some names, like you said, that we haven't seen up there.
Yeah, she took down Las Vegas, which was an open field like that too, and uh, she, did beat. It was a field well, it's only 20 people, obviously, because no one plays there anymore. But um, he did have a good showing though. Still overall, like dominated. Her and Katrina. Katrina was like 19 down, and I think Lucky was like 27 down. So she
Yeah, that's
did
a
have
good.
a showing out there. So
All right, Tyler, I'll have you do your FPO next.
Definitely I'm sticking kind of with what Kyle said at the beginning. I just something's telling me that Owen she needs kind of another win. I just feel like she's gonna pop off this weekend. I know it's also his open course as well, or a little bit more open play, but I just feel like she's gonna be taking it down. Holland Handley, I just feel like she's gonna just play her game. The field's a little off. I don't know why people are not back, or I don't know if it's just people are taking breaks or what, but obviously I know the European peeps are gonna stay there until the European Open, which is totally fine. I get that. But I'm surprised I didn't see Haley King on board or nothing like that. Because I would have definitely picked Haley King, but I just feel like Holland Haley's gonna be popping off. And I don't know. Something's telling me that Emily Weatherman's gonna be staying up in the top five for a minute. And especially with this one being a little bit more of a weaker field, I think there's a lot of wiggle room for Emily Weatherman to definitely come back up like she did um that we saw recently. So I think that's a name that we're gonna have to start, you know, putting in our vocabulary because I feel like she's gonna be up there for quite some time.
Nice, nice. Okay. And then for myself, I have Big Money Missy. She she has no reason not to kind of play good and pop off. I have Holland Hanley. Again, I've been waiting for her to get back up there consistently. She's always up in the top 10, but I see her doing really good. And then I have Own. I just knew it was like a little bit more of a wider course, and I don't she can putt really far, but I don't know how she throws like her distance. Um, but I did debate putting Ella Hansen up here because of that, but that's just where I'm at. So I have Gannon, Holland Hanley, and then Own.
all right. So for my MPO, I'm switching it up a little bit because I know Ricky's been playing really well, and he's bound to take one of these down, and it could be this one. But the other person that is playing extremely well right now, he's he's coming on. I think Mr. McBeast himself is gonna get his dub finally. He's gonna get a W before Worlds. And I think he's heating up. Like every week you're watching him play, and he's just looking good. Even if, and he's also playing like the older Macbeth, where like he goes for it. If he knows he's in in that area, he's going for it now. And those things are going to start hitting. and end up working out for him because it's Paul Macbeth, one of the goats in our sport. I think this is the week he can do it. He's bound to win one. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins a major and maybe 2 events this year, so 3 total. Um, especially the way he's playing right now. I don't know, something about him this year. He's really starting to pop off and play really solid. So I got Beast at number 1. I got Heimberg, Mr. Consistency himself. I have him finishing second this event because I think he's going to come out and have just another good, typical Calvin type of event here. It's an elite series. Calvin's good at Calvin. It's open. It's a golf course. He's going to hit his lines and do his thing. And then, because it's the course that it is, and the way I was debating here between 2 players. Mr. Goose himself, Aaron Gossage, because he plays really well here. Ezra Aderhold. I feel like Ezra can have a really good showing here. I know he usually does well on the West Coast swing events. When he, not last season but the year before, I think it was, he came out swinging pretty fast. Maybe it was last year. He came out swinging pretty fast, finishing like second, thirds, like top 5s and stuff like that in the West Coast thing, and then he cooled off. I don't know. Something tells me this is an event that Ezra can really pop off at. He's had good events. He's finished in the top 3 a few times. He's finished second and stuff like that. And I think he can get another podium finish here, especially at this course.
Definitely. I do agree with that. I'm also really shocked because you have been putting Ricky up there the last like 4 or something. So I was shocked when you sent it over that you don't have him in your top 3 at all.
I don't know. I still think he will win one. It'll probably be this week since I finally don't have him up there. I don't know. Watching him just kind of like put his foot off the gas and something happened, not last weekend, but the weekend before, and just fell off. It's like, oh, Ricky, I know you're due, but it's hard watching it right now. And like I said, still top 10s and stuff like that. And I think he can easily be another top 10 here, but I don't know. Like I said, it'll probably be this week because I didn't pick him, but that's why I didn't pick him.
Yes. Okay, go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of before I start my picks, I definitely want to talk about the whole Ricky thing. I just think right now he has a monkey on his back. He's just so focused on needing to win. I think it's just really much of like mental game for him right now. I've never seen that happen before where he's like in lead and then he just randomly just like fell off and did not win. Didn't even come in
Because he
second.
doesn't do it.
And it's
He
just
doesn't
like
do
Not
that.
common. It's not common at all for him to do that.
and I just think right now like he's not there mentally. And like, yeah, his first round, second round might be great, but I just don't think right now he's gonna be taking a dub soon. So
You say that, isn't there some crazy stat out there right now too? Like that was his second time only ever
Second.
going into like the lead in the final day that he hasn't taken it down or
And
something. Like it's
yeah,
insane.
and that's why they were saying like the only person that's not nervous or scared about that stat was Kelvin, like because nothing breaks him. But the fact that he's only done it before last or 2 weeks ago, he's never, when he's gone in for the 3rd round in the lead or the 4th round in the lead, he's won it every time besides one other time. And so
Yeah.
they're like, there's no way he's not gonna, like, he's usually honed in like unstoppable, and towards the end he just like really crumbled.
yeah. So Kyle went a little old school. Not like old school, but he kind of went more, you know, more the older crowd. I went kind of more for the younger crowd. Obviously Burr is due. Burr is due for another dub. I think
Can't win Vegas.
he's gonna win a for this one at least. So Gannon Burr is gonna be taking the top for this one. I got AB in second. Obviously, I think this is gonna play great for his game. And coming off of a dub, I don't think he's gonna win this one because there's now more people. I think the field is gonna be playing way more difficult. But I do have Ezra Robinson in third place, coming off
Quite
his
solid.
A
Mhm.
tier win at Las Vegas last weekend, or yeah, literally this last weekend. I think he's just once he's in that streak, and I think he, like he said in one of his interviews, I'm tired of being shadowed behind my brother. And I think that's really motivating him this season, and that really proves it. He's definitely been playing better than
Yeah,
ever.
I've been hearing his name, or he's been consistently up towards the top this year, the
He's
most like that I've
played better.
noticed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We've been he's it's weird because like technically he has a win last year, but his season has been better than his brother's this
Mhm.
year. And technically his brother right now is the world's championship. So but yeah, I gotta say first place Burr, second AB, third Ezra Robinson.
Okay. And so I'm not gonna lie. When I was scrolling, I did not see my boy Calvin when I was just like going fast scrolling. So he's not on my top. He easily would have been on my top if I slowed down and paid attention. So my MPO is Burr because I mean, why not? Then I have Ricky because in my mind, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, Kyle and I are tied. The one time I'm like, I haven't put Ricky up on the top. If Ricky wins or is in the top three, Kyle's gonna get points, and I want to get points too. So I put him up there. And this is the one time that Kyle doesn't have him up there. And then I'm gonna go for my boy Eagle just because I he needs to pop off and do good. Isn't an open course. I don't care. They're both looking at me like I'm crazy, but I'm gonna put Eagle up there and we're gonna hope for the best. But yeah, so I have Burr, Ricky, and then Eagle.
I'll put points down that he doesn't break 20.
I'm not putting points down because you're probably not wrong, but he needs to he need I feel like he needs to start playing better and feeling more confident and better before the big tournaments happen.
I
So,
think I think he's excited. Don't get me wrong. He's excited. He has like a video or something. He just came out with it's called like OTB grocery haul, where he's like showing his grocery haul for OTB Open. Like he's excited. Like he's just loving just being back. So it's great to see him back. And I think all of us are excited to see him back as well. And I wish for the best for him. Honestly, it would be dope if he ends up winning. I just don't see that happening right now. I just think right now his bag is very inconsistent. He has multiple molds with only a single disc. And I think he's just one of those people that he's so overly good at knowing molds that he's very just like indecisive of what he likes. And I really I think his season is going to be 2025. This season is literally just his comeback slash figuring everything out, getting back into the groove of things. But honestly, I don't think we're going to see our actual Eagle that we know until 2025.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. And you can just tell. I haven't watched that video, but you can just tell him going live and talking about his disc and everything like that. Like he is excited and
Mhm.
happy to be still playing disc golf. So
Yeah,
hopefully he doesn't get burnt out from not playing the best, and the learning process of it all.
yeah, 100%.
All right. So, speaking of Pro Tour, obviously, even us, which we talked about, of course, ratings and stuff. But speaking of ratings, the GOAT herself, I will say the GOAT. I mean, this is just another thing to put on her, a little notch to put on, which is hard to really say because I mean, honestly, Paige right now is probably truly the GOAT right now for FPO, but this is just another notch to add to her multiple trophies and wins and everything else. Right. Kristen Tatar made history. First FPO player to ever finally reach 1,000 rated. She
Finally.
has an official 1,000 rated disc if she wants to.
That's incredible. And it's crazy that it took so long. Like it didn't take her like long, but like the last few games that she played, everyone's like, if she birdies out, like she'll get it. And then it just didn't happen because that pressure. But the comments were cracking me up of like, Kristen, you need to stop. Like you're making it impossible for others to like try and accomplish this stuff. But how incredible for other FPO disc golfers seeing that it is a possibility to do this. And who better? I mean, it would have been cool for obviously Paige Pierce because she is the, like you said, the OG goat for it all of like how much she brought
I
attention
mean,
to it.
999.
Yeah,
That
that's like
point is so hard to get in the FPO
that's
field. So hard to get, but
yeah. So I knew she
we
was
finally
close for
got it.
so long, and so, but it's awesome that we got to see. Like when I woke up this morning and I saw the post, I was like, oh my gosh, she got it. So
I'm actually I'm curious. Yeah, because
I'm looking.
it's it's yet another though um
Where's her
thing to shoot for.
page?
So
Her page is not
because
popping up.
Paige Pierce is now rated 958.
958.
Yeah, a
How,
difference.
yeah, you guys know point wise, like what helps you move up? Like, do you have to place in like the top 10 or you just have to be
Just
consistent?
No, it's
rating.
basically, so ratings are based by how everyone plays at that course. And it's like an
Uh,
average. Oh, sorry.
Yep, I was gonna add really quick before you finish. It's average at the course, as Ty was saying, but the course itself basically has a rating. So the average, as Ty was saying, the course, if you shoot this, it's 1,000 rated round. Of course, some courses are harder to get that than others, but continue, my bad.
Oh yeah, that's, I mean, like it's pretty much what it is. It's and so it's like you're trying to beat the course, but then at the same time it also justifies on how other plays it as well. Um so so if everybody plays well and you play crappy, your score is going to really show. And like
Mm.
that's what happens. That's why a lot of people um
DNF out so they don't get.
not even that. That's why there's a lot of people
Which is an
are
issue.
so yeah. There's a lot of also another issue that could happen is technically sandbaggers, because if you go technically in a division that you're supposed to really play up, it actually affects that division's rating depending on how well everybody plays in that rating as well. And so that's why a lot of people could get mad about that too. So it just it's so the thing is it's a weird topic because you have a lot of pros and a lot of people say that uh technically in pro tour ratings you there shouldn't be any ratings. People say that
Yeah,
they're
which
completely
there
pointless.
shouldn't be.
And then but then you have like to me though, I think ratings should technically be good for amateurs like us, where it
Well, the
should
ratings help you guys decide which division you guys should be technically playing.
it's supposed to, but people
Supposed to.
don't follow it.
Kind of does, but a
There's
lot of people
there's a
play a
weird
lot of
silver
people
lining.
play their so a lot of people play their rating. Um but also for somebody that's doesn't play a lot. I mean, I
Yeah.
am now 878. I'm getting closer to that 20-point mark from 900.
Yeah, that's
And it's like, I've won once in a flex. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like,
Oh, she's 1,000 flat.
yeah, she's
so
1,000 flat. Because remember, too, in ratings, your bottom 2 or 3,
I
your
think
scores drop off. So when you're a pro like that, their bottom score ones that are falling off are not point differential type of scores that are falling off. That's why whenever you see the ratings go up and down, it's by like a point, stays the same because the fact that it's when you get up there, the fluctuation of the ratings don't move a whole lot because the ratings that are low are your lowest rated scores tournament, not or
yeah.
so.
I was looking, I don't know where to see everybody's ratings for FPO, but I was looking at, like own and stuff like that. Like they're close, but you're right. It's very hard because owns only, which is still good, but she's at a 987. That's a lot of points to try and get up to a
And for
thousand.
it doesn't seem like a lot, like when you think of it in your head, but it is a lot. Like because
Yeah,
you're only getting a point here and there.
that's what you were saying because it's so close of how they play, where you're not, it's not as drastic of a jump or, because, yeah. But yeah, that's awesome. How did she get, like, why did it take so long for it to be announced? Because she hasn't played.
Well,
Ratings update only happens
by
uh
it's every other Tuesday, I think, right?
second Tuesday of every
Oh,
month.
second Tuesday every
That
month.
okay, that makes sense because I knew the last time she was playing, the announcers were like, "Is this going to be the 1,000
Mhm.
game and all
Mhm.
that?" But they were calculating it, and they're like, "I don't think so." So they just miscalculated.
Because
Taking this little break kind of helps.
Oh,
ours even updated. So like
Yeah, everybody's
everybody's
update the
updates.
entire. Mhm.
oh, so it's no matter if anybody who's a registered for the PGGA, you register,
Yep.
you guys
If
update.
if you played a tournament, that's a sanctioned tournament.
Gotcha. Okay.
If not, it just your rating just stays the same.
Stays.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So like for example, like which we talked about this. Obviously, this is pre-recording, but I was going to bring this up is
Mhm.
somebody who is registered. Um, he hasn't been registered since 2018, but he's been doing commentary for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. His name is Nate Doss.
Mhm.
Um, he is actually registered for Beaver State Fling this year, but he hasn't played since 2018. So because he hasn't played
His
since
rating's good.
2018, his rating is a 1038.
Oh,
So his rating is better than most of the pros, but the only thing is he hasn't played since 2018.
so if he doesn't play good, it won't drop that much because of the
Oh
pros,
no, it
other
can.
pros.
I mean, it can. It just depends on how he
It,
plays.
yeah, it won't. Honestly, it's not gonna drop a whole lot
No, it's
either,
not
though,
going to drop a
because
lot.
the fact that like I said, their lowest rated is what falls off, and usually there's not a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Um,
But yeah, I think that is all for me. That's awesome. So congratulations to Chris and Tatar for being the first of hopefully many that can get up to that 1,000 rating because that's a big accomplishment. Um, yeah, just that's awesome.
I think she's a couple years ahead of time. I don't think we'll be seeing another one until 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree with that. There's a lot of young ones, especially from Europe, that are gonna go after a lot of Kristen's things that I feel like will be able to accomplish and go after Kristen's stuff. We need some young Americans to pop off, but right now, like Kyle
Ooh,
has been saying,
we
it's the
have them.
European invasion, especially for FPO.
Yeah, we have them. It's just they right now is just still just very inconsistent, but also sadly it's because of like sponsorships, and not everybody has the funds to be able to go across country to keep working, and so it's just there's a lot of just variations of it's just difficult. So I mean, like with Tatar, like that's literally what happened with her. Like she was only able to come here every so often, and like I mean she's been coming here you know forever, and finally she's been coming here more consistently, and we've that's why we've only started to just really know her since 2020 2021, and she's just been finally popping off is because she's been finally able to do a full tour over here. And then now, because obviously the past really the past 3 years she's been playing so well, that now she's getting all of these sponsors where they're funding all of it for her to come over and dominate, because they see potentials in her. So now it's
Course.
just we just need to have somebody here in the States to start dominating as well. And some people will start turning their eyes and be like, oh, like let's fund her, and allow her to do as much as she can, so that's how maybe she'll start winning. So I mean, like,
You know who it's gonna be? Ellie Ezra. She's 16 years
well,
old and
yeah.
she's gonna be like she's
Well,
only years. This is only her second year playing
Oh, really?
disc golf
yeah,
in general. Yeah.
What?
And she was and
yeah,
she like she was like one distance competition. She throws 500 plus. Like she's young, so she's learning, and she's only played 2 years.
yeah. I mean, she.
So
That's
you
what I'm
want to talk
saying is,
about a player that can easily start to pop off, be your like next Gannon Bird, where everybody knows who she is. This is only her second year playing disc golf in general. So that's someone to keep an eye out for if we're wondering who's that next person that could just take over the sport. I really think Eliezer could be that person.
well, yeah. I mean, like she could be like that as well. I mean, we even talked about with Ali Smith, and then like she randomly dudded out, and I feel like she still has it, but I think she's still trying to figure out just like her game. I mean, Emily Weatherman's another one, and she's only 18 years old. She's newer on in the courses too. We might be seeing her pop off here and there a little bit more. I mean, there's tons of them that are
That's
finally
why,
coming in.
as much as I love watching Kristen play or like a lot of the Europeans that are off right now, it is exciting to see these games because one, they're going to be closer for the FPO. It's going to be a battle. And then two, you're seeing names that are not used to being up in the lead card and like having that attention of like how are they going to handle it? How are they going to play? Because eventually all the older players are going to retire or not play as much because they don't need to, where all the young ones have to like step up to that. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, we'll see.
So that's the next one that you could watch to be that next pop off. I don't know if she'll be like necessarily 1000 rated ever or anything. I mean, who knows? It could maybe Kirsten started the new trend of people finally maybe since she hit that 1000 mark,
They
maybe
want to now.
PO players ratings in general will start to fluctuate a little higher.
Mm,
Um, like I said, ratings is a hard thing, anyways. I mean, 1000 rated for FPO is huge, but like I said, look at I can never remember his name over in Japan, highest rated disc golfer in all of disc golf. He's like
Oh,
I said,
the
unbelievable.
the Paul Macbeth Junior one, or whatever his name is.
But you if he came over here to play, he may not even cash because
Yeah.
ratings fluctuate so much because the competition and everything else.
yeah. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out. I'm excited to see what the future holds now. Like you said, that this is an accomplished goal. Is the like you said, is the ratings going to be different now that she is higher up? So it might be a good thing for all the other players. And yeah, it's exciting. But all right, Lily and I are gonna sign off and let you guys get back to your podcast.
Sounds good. Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
Bye.
Alrighty, so we're back. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Hopefully you guys like our picks. If you want to share your picks, definitely put it down in the comments down below. Say what your NPO is or your FPO is, any of your hot takes, all that goodies. Just sitting down for that. We'd love to just see it. But other than that, Kyle, so you have been dabbling into some more content creation. Definitely want to talk about that. You are kind of getting into more, well, you haven't released anything yet, so I don't want to spoil too much,
No.
but you are trying a new method or style of creating disc golf stuff. So I just want to kind of hear from you, like how it is. What you've shown me so far has been amazing. So I'm gonna let you just kind of say whatever you want to say on it, because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, I just want to just hear like how that is going. How are you liking it? It seems like you are definitely challenging yourself for editing and like learning more about that. So
Right. Right. So I've been trying because content itself will be a lot of the same what I'm doing. I've been practicing, which I will release them just because they're test footages and stuff like that and everything else. But I want to add more story cinematic element, I guess you would call it,
mhm.
into my videos as well, with your like B-roll and stuff like that, and more cinematic and more like when you're watching, just kind of like, oh, this is entertaining to watch because it just adds that fluidness of like natural transitions.
Yeah.
Um, I've been working on, so I also decided randomly I want to learn a little bit more about LUTs and color grading else. So I have the new uh, Apple 15 Pro here, and they actually have Apple Log. So you record in more of that grayish tone. So when you go into the after editing and
Yep.
adjust the colors yourself, which I actually did for the last one I just sent you. I'm sure you saw it. I did email you the second version I sent you. I just gotta find music I want to add to it, stuff like that. But a lot more transitions and everything else. Um, just filming by hand though on a we Friday night league. I went out there and like, oh, let me make some cuts here just to try to see what happens. Like I have one cut that the camera pans over and you see one person on my card in a disc and it pans over behind to a tree and then it's somebody else throwing a disc. It's
Mhm.
just like moments like that and stuff to add into my videos, even videos that like when you and I do practice rounds or like on vacation, add little transitions like that into these videos just to give it a little bit more of something, it's more cinematic here and there and everything else. So, you know, I've been practicing with more so that type of stuff, and it's been a lot of fun actually.
No, and like
Diving deeper in DaVinci Resolve.
no, yeah, and that's the thing is like there's so many possibilities to do with like editing when you're like honing in on it and stuff, and there's a lot that you could do, and it's you're building something. That's pretty much what it is. That's why I absolutely love it. um I think I sadly put a lot of my creations of my personal stuff on the side burner because I do it on the daily for, 8, 9
Mm.
hours a day where I just don't want to do it. So
Mhm.
I like do it as quickly as possible and I'm done. And like I don't want to edit anything else. And I think that's what it is. That's kind of the hard on my part is because I'm looking at everybody else's and then finally when I get into my stuff it's just I don't I lose interest with it sadly. Um which I just need to try, but it's I mean obviously to me
You
the
put
quality
work in it, but
I put work in it. Yes, I know because it's clean audio.
it's very clean still.
It's still clean. Like to me, that's my half ass is like it's it's clean and it's good and it looks great and like my thumbnails look good and like yeah everything to me it's good. It's just to me like it's a C plus. It's not like an A, it's not like a B, but my C plus is other people's A's. So it's just like, um I I would like to do that. I just
Mhm.
I don't want to do it. I don't know. It's difficult. But no, what you're doing though, it's definitely you well, I mean, like besides just knowing you in general, you've always had the eye. I don't know fully if you went to school for it or whatever, but you do have a photography background, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or like you at least have some knowledge of photography.
Knowledge, yeah. It's mostly
So,
knowledge and anything.
I mean, like, not only that, but even your siblings
Mhm.
Dev went to
They
photography
went to school for
school
it, yeah.
for it. So it's like it's kind of in the blood. And like not only that, like you guys just in general, you have an artist mentality. Obviously, you do drawing, you do all the stuff. So it coloring is the same thing as literally painting or using all you're doing is you're just using a different medium. So you're using the same color theory aspect and honing in on the imagery. And that's how
Mhm.
a lot of people who don't really have a background in it, not that many people understand that, but it's more than just like, oh, it's grass, so it's going to be green. It's like, well, no, it's not just going to be green. It's going to be more than like, you have to fix the highlights and make sure the contrast is great and like
Mhm.
making sure that the saturation's back in and make it actual lively as opposed to like, oh, this is supposed to be blue or this is supposed to be green. It's more to it than just that. And so you have that mentally already because of having your art background. So yeah, dude, you're picking up quick and obviously you ask questions here and there when you need it from me.
Yeah, of course.
Which I think it's more just like you ask questions for how can I do this quicker or what's the shortcut for this? It's not really like you're not really asking me editing questions. You're just like, how can I do this faster? And I'm just like, this is how you do it. So you're not really asking me any questions. You're more just finding shortcuts. So that's what it is, honestly. So and I tell you almost like it's this, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot what the last thing you asked me, and I was just like, "It's this way." You're just like, "Oh yeah, 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 that makes sense."
It was more so the color grading thing and it's stuff like that. And I was like, uh, I was like, and you're like, oh, there's this motion array like I like to use. You can get some stuff from like, oh yeah, this makes this a lot quicker. Look at these LUTs. I could just download them and be like, oh, I like this one. Let me put this color grade in here and adjust it a little bit.
Yep, yeah. Because I'm thinking like, okay, I could sit here and add another hour and a half, 2 hours, or I could just skim through something quickly and fix it in about 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And it
Mhm.
still looks great. Like it's just I get into that mode of like how can I cut my time so I could just work on the next project that I need to work on.
So
So
the last video I just sent you for my league night,
yeah,
that color grading I actually did by making multiple nodes in Resolve.
yeah,
So my first one's my starting node, right?
yeah,
The second one was my levels node. I used the curve line and started curving with that shit with the shadows and highlights and shadows.
yeah.
Um, third node was my what node? Which kind of I ended up going with the Fuji camera, I think. What? Fuji film camera, and then I adjusted it, then I go back to the highlights and stuff and start adjusting it again.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a little noisy. Let me put a dissolve thing in here. Let me like it was just like each node kind of had their own like special thing. And then of course you had your final node that you go back to just kind of look at like, okay, this is what it's looking like. Let me go back to this one. I think I don't like the highlights here. Let me go back to
Mm.
the node that I'm adjusting color volumes and adjust that and stuff like that. So,
Well, I mean, this is off subject. Sorry guys, this is going to be off subject of disc golfing, but that's why a lot of like my cinematography friends who edit as well, a lot of them are converting over to DaVinci Resolve is because the color profiling for DaVinci Resolve is actually better than Adobe's. And
oh,
like
really?
that's the thing is there's actually a lot of people are switching to DaVinci Resolve because of the color profile,
Hmm.
because of the note editing. That is the closest you could get to an actual high-end cinematic filmmaking style color grade without paying other like softwares and programs is the
Hmm.
note editing, because you could individually go through each thing. You could technically do it sort of in Premiere, but it's a little bit different. It's more with like, um, it's more grid editing. So you have to, it's a lot of like grids you have to like go through, and you could do it, but the only problem is I even like one of my projects that I did, which it's an unfinished project. I never presented to the world. I was going to, but I just stopped caring.
Hmm.
Which honestly, I want to finish it because it's in the editing suite, so I just want to get it done. But it was a just a funsy like video project that we were doing like a film challenge. But I put my content in DaVinci just to test out the color,
Hmm.
just to see how it is, and I freaking loved it. But the only problem is it just added a whole nother step where it was just like, I would have to relearn my editing all over again and learn it in DaVinci
Right.
Resolve for me to actually even run it. Or what I could do is just edit in Premiere, get to a certain point that I like the project, then export it out of Premiere, re-render it back into DaVinci Resolve, color correct what I want to correct, and color grade how I want to grade it, and then put it back into Premiere to finish off. Which that's what I kind of did for that
Hmm.
project, but um, I'm not going to do that with all my other projects. It's just not going to work. And so, um, luckily enough, Premiere is getting better with the color grading side, which has helped out a lot. I'm right now half and half, where half my projects I shoot in S-Log, and the other half I still shoot in Cin 4, which is just a normal cinema color. That just basically
Hmm.
it still pulls color, and it still gives you room to grade if you really want to, but technically it still provides the natural color tone. Obviously,
Right.
I have
Hmm.
built-in LUTs in my camera that I use, and then also I actually shoot in Kelvin, which it's you're changing the warmth of the light um on your own. It's not like auto. So like
Oh, right, right, right.
so you change the Kelvin. Um And like obviously if you want to shoot a little bit warmer, you bring it up or you bring it down if you want
Mm-hmm.
cooler tones. So
Cooler,
I
right?
I shoot in that. But at the same time though, I'm still in the 50-50 range of like depending on how like it honestly depends on what I'm shooting. Um if there's a crap ton of just random colors, I'm going to shoot in log because then I could control a little bit more color. But
Mm-hmm.
if I can control the color more, like if I'm shooting in a forest and it's just going to be green, like I'm probably going to shoot in 7.4. But at the same time, though,
Yeah, right.
I could shoot in log and even boost it even more. So like it just depends on how I feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Like I said, I don't necessarily need to shoot in log. Like the last one I sent you, I shot in log just for the simple fact of I wanted a full scale grading to see
yeah,
what that's like. And then I can adjust, like, oh, today I don't really feel like doing all that. Let me just shoot normal, you know. And
yeah,
right now, without an external, right now I can only record, I think, on my phone because if you download the Black Magic camera app, which is actually associated because they're the same people that deal with DaVinci Resolve, so they work hand in hand together. Um,
yeah,
I can only get like 10 minutes maybe of film and log in full, like
yeah.
60 frame log.
Just huge profiles. That's the thing is like it's that's a whole nother thing. It's
Log
just
is definitely a big. Mm-hmm.
because like last weekend um uh I don't think I told you this, but last weekend was my first day of shooting a I got hired as a DP for an actual TV show here in
Right.
Destin.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Is it like a reality thing or something?
yeah, yeah, it's called Southern Sand. It's on Saucer. It's on Saucer, which actually is in Apple. It's like a branch off of Apple TV. But they just released their first episode. But this weekend, I was helping them shoot their second episode before to drop and stuff. And I'm a new hire for them as a DP. But for them, they shoot everything in 4K, obviously. But like obviously real time moments is 24 frames per second, but in
Because that's
but
yep, standard.
but b-roll, so like any creative shots or anything that you're just getting b-roll, so like of the girls walking or getting signs or getting people like doing whatever they want it done in 60. So like that's larger obviously than 24
Mhm.
frames. And so like I was filling up cards. Like I think the shoot was not even like 6 or 7 hours. And
Mhm.
I like normally time we had SSDs, but uh one of the PAs dropped the ball and didn't bring SSDs, so we were working on just SD cards. And like obviously there are larger
Oh
SD
no.
cards, but I think I went through like 6 285 gigabyte hard
Mhm.
drives. Um and it was just insane. Like I just kept like looking. I was like, I need a card, I need a card, I need a card.
Mhm.
And it just like, we were shooting. So yeah, it's just when you're shooting in like those higher profiles, like yeah, it's because it gives you more room to have more creative control.
Mhm.
But at the same time though, it's going to eat up way more space. And so it's like you're going to have to invest into not only an SSD card, but you're going to want to invest into like a hard drive or maybe like a hard drive like tower for your PC. So that's how you could even like withstand storage, because you're not going to want to put
Mhm.
all that on your desktop, because you as a gamer already eating up your gigabytes with gaming storage. So it's like you're gonna need a whole nother storage for your videos.
Mhm.
So that's going to be a whole nother thing you're gonna have to think about.
Yep. Yep. It's a lot of practice right now. Like you said, B log, you a lot of people, for those of you creating disc golf content stuff, if you want a lot of slow down stuff like that, yes, do your 60 frames.
At least
30's
six
plenty
saves.
though. If at least 60, yeah. 30's plenty for just film doing what you want. 24 is pretty standard though. If you're not planning on any major slowdown effects or anything else, if that's all you're pushing out is a 24.
Let's call it, yeah.
Pretty standard for film.
Yeah. Well, 24 is the standard. 24 is definitely
Is the
built for
standard for film.
like
Yeah.
real time. It's like what you guys are seeing right here. This is 24 frames per second. This is real time moment. Obviously, you go in 30 frames if you want to, which a lot of people say like that's one of the best to do. I could disagree, but that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother pod. But definitely 60 frames is at least the bare minimum for shooting more, like, because what you could do is in post you could slow it down, because what happens is at 60 frames, if you bring it back into 24, it technically it takes up more. So to help you guys out, what it means is 24 frames per second. That means there's literally 24 still photos, so it takes 24 image to make a singular second. So that means like if I take a photo here and then move my finger and then move it again, but if I do that 24 times, you will then, if you play it back together, then you'll see this. And so that's what also, like with Tim Burton, like with claymation and stuff like that, like the reason why you get more of that choppy effect is because when they take a photo, they make a larger movement. So instead of just doing like one of these like super slowly, what they're doing is they're moving more of an actual movement, which then if you have a thing that's from here and then you have it from here, it's gonna give it more of a choppy take, because literally you're saying this is one image, this is another image, you're putting it together. And so it's giving that chopness, and that's how you create claymation. But for an actual video itself, it takes 24 still frames to make a single second. So if we're saying 60, that means it takes 60 images to make a singular second. Reason for 120 frames, same thing, it takes 120 frames. So it jumps up. So like that's why it takes so much storage, is because you're storing that many images for a single second. So nice little math. And then but the only thing is which luckily our phones does this, you don't have to worry about it. But technically, if you want to go even further in this, if you're using an actual camera, you have to double your shutter speed to keep up.
Right.
So
you gotta, that's a key thing too. So if you do have a camera that does adjust that stuff, also look into that too.
yeah,
Because like Ty just said, if you're shooting at 60 frames, your shutter should be about the 120.
yeah,
Like
which
you always want to kind of double. Of course, lighting and everything else, super sunny day will be a little different. That's where your ISO comes in and everything else. But
yep.
I'm learning it all too. Like I said, I didn't go to school for any of this, but I've slowly figured it all out.
Yeah, which sadly, shutter speed of 120 doesn't even exist. So the closest you could actually get is
No, it doesn't.
as 125. So which I tell all
Yeah.
my beginners, I'm just like, that's the bare minimum. Because now if the reason why we're saying that is because if you don't have it, at least if you're shooting 60 frames, if you don't have it at least to 125, if you, let's say you have it at like 80, you would you actually play it back, you'll see your video kind of have this like weird jarring, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like shakiness to it. Like it's very jarring and it's not smooth. It's because it's not catching up. Your shutter is not catching up to the actual amount of photos or image that's happening. So it needs that to be able to your shutter speed has to be faster to be able to stay fluent with the amount of images that you're trying to show. So yeah, little film talk for you guys. Hopefully any of that made sense to you. So yeah,
It all
and
goes back to making content for disc golf.
well, yeah, and the thing is like we're all amateurs, and obviously, if you guys want to learn video content creating stuff like that, please email us because even though Kyle's learning it, but I actually teach courses for video and stuff like that. I could teach you guys editing. I could teach you guys how to create film, how to build sequences, like whatever it is, like, it's all that's where we're here to grow and learn, but um creating videos though, if you find your own style that fits who you are, you're going to blow up quicker because you're showing your style. You're not trying to be somebody else's. And so yeah, definitely if you have any questions, just hit me
And
in the comments or email us. So
that's also why I've been kind of playing around with, doing what the B rolls and stuff like that. It's just because of the fact that I want to um add a little bit more of my own style to it. So adding in B rolls here and there, I feel like adds just a little bit more to everything.
yeah, I agree with that. So, but yeah, it's definitely a thing to really pay attention on. And um literally good audio, good image, that's all you need to worry about. As long as you sound clean and your image looks great, that's all people want. Mainly, only people just want just good audio. So if you even just get just like
Audio.
a cheap microphone for your phone, or just something to just like, that's how people can actually hear you, and you don't sound like you're in a wind tunnel the whole time. That's all that matters.
Yeah, so like I said, just anything for audio too. Of course, that if you have and you start learning editing a little bit for your content and not just popping it straight from your phone to YouTube. Obviously, any editing software, you can adjust your mic volumes and everything else, and just simple little mics like this that you plug in your phone and use makes a world of difference. I was using just my phone camera for a while, and for Christmas tie-in stuff, they got me these little mics, and they work perfect, and it's makes a world of difference. It's a lot of
Well,
fun. So
speaking about those microphones, we really impressed Sarah even, um because uh one of the it was hole four, hold on, one two, no, it was hole three. She didn't realize how far I was, and then I was talking and she thought I was behind the camera, but then you see me like walk, but like I'm like a good 150 feet away from the camera, and I sound crystal clear. I sound like I'm right up on the camera, but I'm not. And she goes, "Wait, are you like all the way out there talking?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Man, those mics like really pick up." And I'm just like, "Yeah." And so like that's what I'm telling you guys. Like those, I forgot how much I bought them for, but they were so affordable. Like it's insane for how affordable they are, how good quality. Because I'm just like this can't be true. Like, because it's one of those like uh too good to be true. I was just like, well, let's just try it. And so I was just like, here it is. Hopefully they work. And then, man, they're so good. Like
they've been solid.
I'm so impressed with them. So
Mm-hmm. Super solid, super solid. So thank you. But yeah, before this gets too long, as you said before, you do have a tournament coming up this weekend. The old golf course, I believe, again. So this is your second run at it. Um, how do you think you'll do? Now that you've played the course, you kind of have at least an idea, even though before we started the podcast, you kind of briefly mentioned you'll kind of get into a little bit. Added a bunch more OB though, so that'd be interesting to see how you end up doing. I will definitely be watching on my phone. Let us know the title of the event too, so anybody that is also a um, avid listener and wants to follow along Ty's journey this weekend in his tournament, go ahead and go to his app and type in the tournament name and follow along with them, just like I will be.
So this is the 2024 Northwest Florida Disc Golf Championship. It's a mouthful.
Yes.
But yeah, it is the Northwest Florida Disc Golf Championship. It was originally going to be a 2-day event, but they actually crunched it down to just 1 day. They made it a invitational only. So it they invited people first, and then after that, then they opened up the remainder slots for anybody who wants to partake. But they made sure that the people that they wanted to bring back in, they were able to play. How I even remotely um am allowed to play is my placing for the last time I played at that course, which I came in 9th place for the 2024 Bay County kickoff. um I came in 9th place, and I guess it, like, I qualified. I don't really know, but I got a random email roughly a week and a half ago saying, hey, we would love for you to be a part of this. This is kind of like an invitation to be a part. If you want to partake in it, you actually could come in as a discount price, and we would love for you to be there. And so I was like, obviously I can't bypass that. So yeah, so I'm in. Technically, because I played MA4 for the playoff, they automatically put me in MA4, which I don't mind because this MA4 plays on the MA3 T pads. So, or like it plays on the same T pads as I would play an MA3. So it's not like
Exactly.
it's not easier. There's no difference. It's all the same. So I'm playing exactly with MA3, but with just MA4, which technically, like I said, the MA4 down here is technically MA3. This is pointed as that. And like MA3 down here is technically MA2s. I feel like Florida disc golf, it's hard. It's hard to play down here. I'm going to be completely honest. So, but yeah, it's this Saturday. Supposed to rain, so I'm kind of excited about that. There are, as of right now, there are 9 people in my division.
Okay.
So if I get 9th, that's mean I came in last this time. So hopefully I don't do that, because it definitely, when I played the kickoff, it was definitely like 20 people. So but like I said, it's gonna be a little more conservative because, like, or not conservative, it's gonna be a little more condensed because this was originally invitational, and then they opened it up to people. But like, we have people from like all over the place. It's all Northwest, you know, people coming in. So not anybody that I see for the NPO that are like familiar in the name options, because I know technically Pensacola is close, but at the same time the OTB Open is happening
Yep.
this weekend, so all the
What's happening?
Pensacola team players are definitely not going to be here. So that's not any worries on that, sadly. But yeah, I'm excited. I have been honestly setting up the a net in my garage, and been working on just like my backhand. Um
Hmm.
I am excited for this one because they're, like I said, I'm coming in with my bag with Walnut Opens bag, which I was very happy with that bag. Um, I just think the reason why I played terribly for my second round was because my card mates, I just got into my head, and I also didn't have Ronnie or anybody to really like help me out mentally.
Hmm.
This coming up weekend, I'll actually have Rodney with me, so that's gonna help me out tremendously. Um, so there's no excuses on that. I'm gonna play like how I played a Walnut Open. I'm only going to go for it if I feel overly confident. If I don't feel confident, then I'm just going to take whatever that is. The only thing that concerns me is because technically it's a championship. I don't know why, but they added way more OBs than there were when I played back in February or whenever that
Right.
was, January. Um, so I actually have, I know, like, I'm not gonna put a map or nothing up, but I got the caddy book because technically today we were given. So this is what I like about this too is down here, the players meeting, all of the tournaments that I've done so far down here, they send you a video, like an email, and then like in the email, there's a like a YouTube link, and it's a video of the person of the TD going through everything you need to know before you even go in, which is I
Okay.
think it's really cool. So you have to watch the video and it actually says like click here that you've actually watched the video and stuff. So like I don't know like what happens if you don't. I don't know like what penalty it is, but I just don't want to find out. And then they give you the caddy book for the weekend. Obviously, we follow the regular PDGA rules. They're actually though down here, every one that I've done so far have been very strict that every single buddy has to use the PDGA live app.
Mhm.
Absolutely no digital cards or anything like that, or sorry, no physical cards or UDisc or anything. Like they want you to do the live app.
Mhm.
So I mean, like I don't mind if you use a like a physical card or UDisc. I think that's great because obviously you can't control virtual anything. Like you can't control like what could happen, like lose service or whatever. You just can't control that. So personally a backup is great to have. So I don't know what's going to happen, but obviously last year though, or like I said though, we did this February and everything went fine. So and it's also the same tournament director. So like I'm just going to assume it's going to be well off for this one. And it's also actually with fewer people. So I feel like it should be a little bit better, I guess. But yeah, they give you a caddy book for all the OBs, which dude, like this book is a very descriptive, but also it's insane with the amount of OBs they have. And like it's not just like because I remember playing this course and like it was a typical like obviously it's played on an old disc or it's played on a old golf course. So there's a lot of like, man-made little ponds and lakes in some spots. Obviously, any water on any course is playing OB. Totally makes sense. Normally, time if there's a path, normally is played OB. That makes complete sense. But a lot of these, I remember have they don't have like a path or water and they're just making random OBs just to make random OBs, which that's fine, but like they're not close to each other. It's not like they're far off, they're not like it's not built like Walnut Open where like you're on hole 10, but hole 11's tee is literally like in the forehand line if you wanted to go that way. Like it's not like that.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
it's they're pretty spaced out where you're not on top of each other, you know? So I don't know. So from Walnut where you guys are like, oh, we're just playing pretty much everything casual to like this one is like every single one is OB. It's just really interesting. So but yeah, let me just start off. So hole one, it says water is out of bound, painted lines are out of bounds. Hole one, water is out of bound, painted lines are out of bounds. Blue white layout, Mando left on tree right of blue tee pads, drop zone left of tee. So um there's that. Oh, this one has like two different tee layout, obviously. They have one pro, then one just like regular standard one for everybody else. Hole two, It says water's out of bounds, painted lines are out of bounds. Any tree shots landed out of bounds or abandoned uh may tee from the red tee pad throwing 3. May also tee from red tee pad throwing 3 without throwing from blue tee pad. Yeah. Hole 3, water's out of bound, painted lines are out of bound. Pretty much that's for hole 3, 4, and 5. Hole 6, just painted lines are out of bounds. Hole 7, painted lines are out of bounds. Blue and white tees must make both mandos or proceed to drop zone. So, like I said, there's a lot of mandos and a lot of painted lines. Hole 8, same thing. Same exact thing. Water's out of bound, painted lines are out of bounds, and then if Mando miss, proceed to drop zone. Hole 9, painted lines are out of bounds. Path short of basket is casual. There you go. There's our first path that's casual. That's why hole 9 is that weird one where, which I'm surprised they didn't make this to an island hole. This is the weird one where your fairway is like cut in half, so it's like when you're teeing off, like you have to shoot like over like a kind of like
right.
like a dune thing, and then like there's a path that's right before that, and then there's more grass, and then the basket's sitting in that grass area. I'm surprised it doesn't make that into like an island hole technically, but that path is technically plays as casual, which is nice because every time I play it, my disc actually lands in that path. So it's actually kind of the saving grace. Hole 10, painted lines are out of bounds. The road behind blue basket is out of bounds. Culvert on left side of fairway is casual relief. Hole 11, water is out of bounds. Hole 12, water is out of bounds. Painted lines are out of bounds. Hole 13 is the same thing. Water is out of bounds. Painted lines out of bounds. Hole 14, they actually made a special temporary tournament tee pad. Then it says painted lines are out of bounds. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hole 15, painted lines are out of bounds. Cart path in front of tee pad is casual. That's another one. Hole 16 must make both mandos or proceed to mark drop zone. So another double mando. Hole 17, painted lines and water is out of bound. And then hole 18, water, wooden stakes, and painted lines are out of bounds. Large rock to the left of the red path have painted lines and are designated as out of bounds. If a player throws out of bounds on the tee shot, they have an option to go on the red tee pad or a drop zone with penalty. So yeah. There
Can make for a fun tournament.
So yeah, so it could be, and then also, like I said, they are there's a lot of possibilities that could happen, but at the same time though, it's going to be interesting to see like what will happen with this tournament. It is, as of right now, let me see how the weather is, because it was storms have been passing in and out. Well, here it's supposed to rain at 65% for storms on Saturday. But let's see what Panama City, which technically this course is an hour and like 15 minutes away from me, hour 20 minutes away from me. So that actually will change all of my potentialness to it. Yeah, it is still 70% chance of rain. Yep.
Good times.
70% chance. Yep.
Well, good luck with the tournament. Hopefully everything goes well and get that rating a huge boost.
Yes. Very excited. I'm as excited to play disc golf, the actual tournament disc golf. Yeah, definitely we'll let you know how it goes, but also hopefully do be watching and seeing how it goes. I am gonna do what I did last time. I'm not gonna look at the score. I'm honestly I'm going to do where I'm gonna give my phone to Rodney and have her put in the scores. Like I don't even want to look at the scores. So I'm gonna show her how to do that. And I'm not going to touch my phone once. So obviously, second round, I'm gonna have to look to see where I start, which I will get the gist of where I'm at. But yeah, I don't want to know. I don't know what position I want to start or what position I'm gonna be at. So um, but yeah, I'm excited though. And what I'm doing to get myself set up is like I said, I have a net to just work on my throws. Obviously, I might try to hit chain dragons once at least, even though that's not the course that I'm playing at, but I'll probably at least try to
Just get
play,
it up.
try to get just a round in just to get my arm just going. Um
Mm.
and then get my putts in. Pretty much it, man. Like I honestly I feel good. Um I still feel loose like with everything. So that's the best part. So I don't want to overly practice. I think what I want to do is I really want to wait until I get there. And once I get there, then I'll actually like practice in the morning and do like at least 4 or 5 holes. Um, just to like get my body back and moving. So but other than that, I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then obviously create some content. So yeah.
Sounds good to me. I'm super stoked to see that when it comes out. So
Yep. I'm excited for it. But I think that wraps up our pod for this Wednesday. So thank you guys for all the support. We really appreciate you guys listening. If you have anything that you guys want to talk about, definitely comment down below in our section. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, I believe you do the same thing where you can write in there. If not, hop over to YouTube first, give us a follow on that, and also give us a follow on Spotify so you guys could know when when the next episode drops. And then also, if you want to email us, you can email us. Our email is down in the description as well. Definitely check out Kyle's YouTube channel and my YouTube channel for our amazing content. Make sure you use one of our codes, KG10 or TIDG10, to get 10% off your next order at WWDG.com. Super cool website. So definitely check that out. Other than that, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Keep on playing disc golf, peeps. We'll see you again.